guys, it's Bree, the owner of Itty Bitty Berry, and I'm so glad you're here today. We're gonna get into what I made this week. So, I made quite a few little items for my Fairy Festival prep because I think this is the last week I'm gonna be prepping for the Fairy Festival. It's April 25th, and then May 17th I have a Japanese Cherry Blossom Festival, and there's a lot I want to make for that. So I'm thinking about stopping my Fairy Festival prep this week, and next week I'll start more of my Japanese Cherry Blossom makes, which it's kind of like an anime convention, so it's going to be a lot of anime makes and things like that. So hopefully you guys are excited to see those too. So I made a lot of PawgysPlace patterns. She had a 25% off sale for Easter, and so I got quite a few of her patterns that I had been wanting. So I thought it would be fun to do like a little pet adoption center with doggies and cats and set it all up and maybe make like a little sign, and then people can choose their cat or their dog in a little bed. So for cats, I have this little brown cat. This was the first one I made. It's a little tail. These are so quick. These took me, I think the cats only took me like 15 minutes, and so did the dogs. But if there were color changes, then they took like between 15 and 20. But still, that's really good, and you get a really good size. This is made with Elise Veluto, and this is the size that it comes out. And then these are what the beds look like. Here's a little blue bed. And these are really simple. These take like 5 minutes, and they just sit so perfectly inside the little bed. And so the beds came with the cat pattern, but they also fit the dogs because the dogs are the same size. So, and then I made this little white kitty. The white kitty kind of looks like a mouse to me, but he's still really cute. And he fits in a bed. I'm just going to show the beds randomly with the cats and dogs. Like I said, people can mix and match and pick whatever they want. I think I'm going to do a sign that says like, adopt a pet, pick a dog or a kitty, pick a bed, and then have the price. I'm deciding between $8 and $10 for the little animals. And the beds and the cats are made out of Elise Veluto. So here's this. Oh, the white looks really cute with this color. This looks really cute together. And then the last cat I did was this little tuxedo cat. My husband used to have a cat like this, and he had more like patches on him. He wasn't quite a tuxedo cat, but he was black and white. And so my husband was like, oh, you should make a black and white cat, because I was trying to figure out what cats would be popular, like what people have most of. I feel like I see a lot of people have black cats. So that's kind of why I made this little black and white one, and I did the eye embroidery. This one is my favorite cat. This one is so cute. I love this one. So we'll put him, and here's a little green bed. I just love how perfectly they sit in these little beds. Next is the dogs. Let's see, this is, I think this is burlap blanket that I used on this, and a mustard color. This is kind of meant to be like a golden retriever. I guess I could have used like fuzzy yarn on it, but I kind of just started with this guy. And here's how the doggies look in the little bed. He looks a little big for the bed just because he's in burlap. And burlap is just a little bit bigger than Elise Veluto. This one is also Elise Veluto. This one is meant to be a little husky. I feel like quite a few people have huskies or like huskies. The dog's noses look a little bit weird to me, but I think they're still cute. She has an option where you can add a little tongue, and maybe I should have done that, but I think people will still like them. So here's this little guy in a purple bed. The cat pattern also comes with like cat toys. Like I think there's like a fish and a cat bowl, and I think maybe a little mouse, but I only did the beds. I didn't want to mess with all the little teeny tiny. This one's my favorite of the dogs. This is supposed to be a little beagle. He's made, the white and the black is Elise Veluto, and the brown is Parfait Plush. I really liked working with this. I have a few skeins of the Parfait Plush, and I don't use it very often. just because when I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's going to shed a bunch. I don't want to deal with that. And then I grab my Elise Voluto. But I wanted to use this rust color for the Beagle, and I actually really like working with it. It's so soft. It comes out so soft on the plushies. I mean, it still sheds, but not like Sweet Snuggles or anything like that. So it is worth it if you guys want to try it. I would recommend it. I mean, you can see me picking some of the shed that came off there from the ears. You don't have to sew on the ears. On the cats and the dogs and the beds are all no-sew. It's all no-sew. So that makes them really quick and easy. But look at how cute this little Beagle is. I just can't. He's so cute. I'll put him in the last bed. This last bed is this little pink one, and I don't know what I was doing, but it's bigger than the other beds. But I mean, the Beagle looks cute in it. He looks cute. So those are all the dogs and the cats that I made. I only made 6, 3 dogs and 3 cats, because I don't know how well they're gonna do, but I'm thinking at a fairy festival, there's gonna be lots of little kids, and parents are probably gonna be looking for those small, cheap items. So, along those lines, I bought almost all of her Critterling patterns. I bought one of the sea animal ones. Maybe I bought both. I'm not sure if I bought both or just one of them. And I bought the whole Critterling pack that she has out now, that I think it's like 30 little animals. And I got done just in the last couple days. I did 2, 4, 6. I did 8 of them. So in the regular Critterlings pack, I did, which one did I do first? Let's see. I did this little elephant first, and I gave him these embroidered eyes because I want to have some more baby safe items, and I figured little kids might really gravitate towards these because they're small and fit in your hand. And for a $5, I'm going to sell these for $5, so for a $5 item, parents will be like, yeah, sure. So I wanted to have some with embroidered eyes, so I did the elephant, because I feel like a lot of people buy elephants for babies and like safari animals. Squish him back a little bit there. He took me, I think 14 minutes is how long this little elephant took me, and all of these, I timed most of them. There was a couple I didn't, but that was me reading through the pattern for the first time, so reading all the ear directions, and so I had to read how to do the ears and all that. The elephant's really easy, and he has this little teeny tiny tail. I love this tiny tail. It's so cute. But I really like how the elephant came out, and I feel like out of this is Premier Basic Chenille. So I feel like these come out a good size for a little $5 item. Not all the time do $5 items sell at my markets, to be honest. I sell a lot of $8 and $10 items, not as many $5 items. If I do sell a $5 item, it's either a capybara or a chick with a hat. Just those two. The other ones don't really sell. So we'll see if these will sell. I think they're cute enough to sell. If they don't, I'm going to take them to my vendor shop because my $5 items do really well there. I like to have a lot of $5 items there because they kind of help make my rent back, and then all of my bigger items are just profit. So next I did the monkey. He kind of looks like a bear to me because I accidentally messed up and made his ears brown. I meant to make his ears this face color, and I just instinctively just started using the brown. Again, these are all no-sew. So the elephant was no-sew, this monkey is no-sew. I think almost all of PawgysPlace, if not all of them, are no-sew. I think all of her patterns, pretty sure. There might be a couple that use sewing, but she pretty much tries to make them all no-sew. The paws, the little hands, were also supposed to be in this beige color, but I wanted them to be brown. But I did want the ears to be the face color, but he still came out really cute. This one took me 14 minutes as well, and that was reading all the instructions for the first time. Next, I did this little axolotl, and he's so cute. He looks so silly. I feel like for $5, this one's really gonna go fast. I probably should have made more of these, but this one took me 13 minutes. This one was really quick, and that was me trying to do the gills, and that was also with me adding this. This is not in the pattern, I don't know what you want to call this. The gills on the back. I don't know axolotl anatomy. I don't know. So I added that because I felt like it needed it on the back because it just looked really bare on the back. And that was, I just surface single crocheted on the back. And that's all I did. And this still only took me 13 minutes. Then I did the pig. I had to do the pig because if you know me, I love pigs. And this one I think came out so cute. Look at its little snout. And this is an Elise Voluto. The monkeys was an Elise Voluto. And so was the axolotl. Those were both Elise Voluto. So, but he's just this cute little tiny pig. He's so cute. And the pig, I don't remember how long the pig took. It was somewhere between 13 and 15 minutes. All of these took me about between 13 and 15 minutes. With a few exceptions. There's a few in here that went outside that time. Next, I worked on some of the ocean critterlings because I really wanted some sharks because every time I've had sharks, they sell. And I don't really love making sharks because you have to put on all the fins and the tail and the little head fin, all of that, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. I did have a no-sew hammerhead that I would use and sell it for $5, and it always sold really well. So in PawgysPlace Ocean Pack, she has like 4 different sharks or something like that, so I really wanted to get that and try to make some of the sharks. So I started with this little blue shark. He's really cute. He looks a little bit like a whale. I don't know if, they're really like flat. I don't know if I'm supposed to maybe stuff them a little bit more, but you can see he has the little gills on the side. Again, all of this is no-sew. This one I stopped timing because I think I got to like 16 minutes because I kept getting really confused. Pawgy's patterns are made for beginners and they're really easy. Most of them are really easy. But sometimes when it comes to making things no-sew, it can get a little confusing to read. And also this one, because it had so many instructions on how to make everything no-sew, I kept skipping lines as I was reading, not realizing it, and then my stitch count would be off and I kept getting really confused. But now that I've made this one, I think I could do it in less than 15 minutes. It was just confusing reading it for the first time. But next, I of course made the hammerhead, and this one definitely I could get done in less than 15 minutes, but I did not time it because I got really confused on this one. This one I had a really hard time with because of this little head shape. So she tells you to slip stitch it together on this side of the head, which makes sense, but she says slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. But what she means is because you're going through the top and the bottom. And I was reading that as go 2 stitches in, 2 stitches in, and then I wasn't having enough stitches. So I had to leave it for a while, and then I tried it again the next day, and then rereading it, it made sense. And there was another part, oh, the tail was also very confusing the way she worded it, but she had a video for the tail. So I could figure the tail out. And my main issue was with the head when she said slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. I didn't think of it as top and bottom stitch. I thought it's the next 2 stitches. The tail, the only reason I was confused about that because she words herself twice. She says single crochet 2 into, I think these are half double crochets down here or something like that. Single crochet 2, single crochet 2 into the body, which she means just here, but she repeats herself, and so I was reading that as 4 stitches and again was getting confused. So I think sometimes where she's trying to make herself clear for beginners, it makes it a little bit confusing for people who regularly read patterns. But now that I know what she's talking about, I think I could definitely get this done in 15 minutes. It's really easy and it's so cute. I love how it came out. Even though it took me forever because I was confused, the end result is so cute that I love it and I would definitely make it again. It was definitely worth it. And I know PawgysPlace, if you message her with questions, she's quick to answer and all of that. So even if you do get confused, she's just a message away. Next, I made this little orca whale. And again, he's kind of flat. I don't know if I need to do something with my stuffing. Maybe there's probably notes in there that I didn't read. There, he looks a little bit more. But here's the little orca or Killer Whale. This one is really cute too. This one I didn't time, but this one I didn't have any problems with because after doing the first two sharks, I kind of understood what I was supposed to be doing. So I didn't time this one, but it probably took less than 15 minutes. You even do like this little embroidery right here for the white, but that's really quick. What I did to make it easier so that I didn't have to weave in so many ends, when I closed it up down here, I left a long tail, closed it up, and then I threaded the tail back behind the eyes, did my embroidery, threaded it over here, and then I only had one tail to weave in. I didn't have to worry about all these extra little tails from embroidery. So that's what I did. But all of these would still be $5 makes. Super cute. And then this one was the last one that I did. This is a little angel fish. I did the embroidered eyes on this one. I was supposed to stuff this one and I forgot. I got into doing the tail and these little fins here, and I forgot to stuff it. But angelfish are pretty flat anyway, so I think it looks fine. But here's the little eyes. This one took me 6 minutes. 6 minutes, that's it. And even with the color change. And I think, and this was my first time reading it. So at like doing it again, I wouldn't have to like necessarily read all the little bits and pieces. 5 minutes or less probably. This one is so quick. And I think it comes out really cute. Just a little fish. Little angel fish. And those were all, oh nope, I have one more PawgysPlace make. So in her cat pattern, she has a mod to make a hanging swing out of the pet bed, and I was like, oh, that would be really cute because car swings sell really well for me. Well, I decided to use Parfait Chunky and make this little corgi, and I think this corgi came out so cute. He has the teeny little tail in the back. But I feel like even out of Parfait Chunky, it's still a little bit big for a car swing. Some people have said, no, it's perfect size. Other people said it. I think it's a little bit too big. So I might just take this to my vendor store. So that way I don't have like one dog that's smaller than all the other dogs at my market table. He might just go to the vendor store. I really love the design of the corgi. I just think it was too big for a car swing for what I wanted to out of Parfait Chunky. I do have the Critterling dog and the cat, and I think those would work for car swings better, but I haven't made them yet. I have two bigger makes, but before I get to those, I want to show you a little bit about why I don't get as much done through the week. Through the week, I am a mom to a 1-year-old, and I'm also taking college classes, and then in between, I'm running my business. I sell a lot on Etsy, and these are kind of the orders that I make for Etsy. I try to get at least 1 to 2 orders shipped out every day, and some orders have more than one item in them. So most of my time goes to these guys. So if you think, I'm making like 7 or more of these a week. So these are from a show called The Amazing Digital Circus. You can find it here on YouTube or Netflix. And this is a character from that show. So, and there's a few other characters I do. These are just the 2 I haven't shipped out yet. But I'm making like 7+ of those a week. So that's where most of my crochet time is going. And the rest of this is just what I get done in between classes, taking care of my son and the Etsy orders. Another Amazing Digital Circus pattern. This is Ragatha. And I love her so much. She's so cute. This was done really well. The designer did an amazing job. I definitely recommend checking out this pattern. All the patterns will be linked below. But the dress she makes removable. I did not. I ended up sewing it closed, but she has you make a little button so that it can be removable. And she has you work color changes into the body to be her swimsuit because there's a beach episode. So that way you have all those little character details in one, but I just didn't do those steps. I just left my dress on solid. And you have the bow and the hair. She makes the hair really easy. The curls are super easy. And there's her little face. I have her blush. So, so cute. I made this out of Elise Voluto. The white is Elise Voluto, black is Elise Voluto, but the purple is Premier Basic Chenille because in the show her dress is very bluish purple, so I wanted like a periwinkle color for her. But I really like this pattern, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Finally, my last make for the week, I don't remember the designer, but it will be linked below, is this little mushroom guy. He's so cute, guys. He is a little misleading in the pattern because it says that it's a wee little mushroom or something like that, and he's obviously quite big. This is made out of Bernat blanket, but he probably took between 2 and 3 hours, I think. But I gave him these hand-painted eyes, and they have flowers in them, and the blush. I was supposed to make the cap of the mushroom another couple rows down, but I thought it was going to cover his eyes, and instead it made it this white stick out. So I should have followed the pattern the way that it said. So if you do this pattern, follow the hat the way that it says, because I messed mine up a little bit. And then on the cap, I did these little gems. So cute. This is the first time I've like bedazzled a plushie, so that was a first for me. I wanted to give him like a little belly button, like what is her name? She's here on YouTube. Electric Scribbles. She gives her plushies like a little belly button, and I thought that would look so cute, but I didn't have a gem that matched that was big enough. And another first I did with this plushie is I made him weighted. So he weighs like a pound. I put a ton of weighted pellets in this body. There's none in the head. The head's a little wiggly, as you can see, because there's a lot of weight to the head, but he still stands up and still looks really cute, but he is weighted. You can hear those beads in there. Ooh. But the feet are sewn on and the hat is sewn on. The arms, head, and body are all worked into one piece, and the little mushroom patches are sewn on. But other than that, it's a really cute pattern. I really liked it. I just wish that the neck was a little bit thicker. She has you sew the head down, and so this is even with the head sewn down. It's still a little bit wiggly. But I mean, just sitting here as a weighted plushie, I think he looks really cute. And those were all the makes I made this week. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. If you have any ideas of what you want to see me prep for the Fairy Festival, or even ideas for the Cherry Blossom Festival, leave them below, and I'm excited to see what kind of ideas you have. But bye!